Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be finishing off the body of the bear, stitching up the body of the bear. To do this we need to pin it round. Also we need to find out which way up we need the pieces to join together. So if you take your pattern pieces, they should have a marking that tells you where the top is, and the arrow also pointing up, which is which way you lay it on the fabric. So when you've cut out your pieces, you should mark, or if you haven't, you can do that now. You just mark where the top of that body is, so you get the pieces joined together correctly. Then take your pieces and start pinning round like we did the rest of it, up round here. Match up your seams, your points at the top like this, match them all up and start pinning round where you're going to sew. Pin it all the way round, matching up your seams at the end as well here. And then once you've pinned all that, you can sew that together like we did the rest of the bear, 2-3 millimeters away from the edge, the back stitch, ready for stuffing in later on. We have, of course, still got the opening here. Don't stitch that up yet. That's where you stuff your put your stuffing in, and where you put your cotter pin joints. So you go ahead and do that, and when you've done that, your next job would be, what we're going to look at today is putting our joints in the head. Now you may have, if you've had a kit, this would have all come with your kit. The joints, there are two types of joints. Well, there's three types of joints. You can use just yarn, put it through, cotton, just pull it through, strong cotton, put it through several times, and that gives you a joint. But if you want proper secure joints like this that aren't going to come off, you can use the cotter pin and disc joints, or there's also plastic joints. I haven't got any at the moment. I only used them once and I wasn't keen on them. I prefer the cotter pin way, but if you've got the plastic joints, you can. They're similar to this. You put them together a similar way. You put them through the teddy bear's neck and the head in a similar way. And I'll link some down in the description below, in case you want to buy some of those or have a look at, see what they look like. But this is how you put the cotter pin joints together. Firstly, you've got to sew the head, the hole round here, closed, so that this doesn't pull out. So to do this, you need a stronger thread than you've been using. Not the normal cotton that you've been using. If you've got a kit, it probably would have come with it, but this is you can use beading thread for this. There's several strong threads out on the market. Look at, you can Google them, find which ones that would be suitable, which ones you can get hold of. But I use beading thread. It's very strong. It's it's really difficult to break. So take your beading thread, or whatever strong thread you've chosen, and put a knot in it in the end, and then choose where you want to start, and again 2 to 3 millimeters in. This time we're going to go all the way round. You want to make sure your thread's long enough so that you can go all the way around without stopping, because you want to be able to pull it up like a drawstring. So once you put your thread in, your knot in, put your needle in and do a couple of stitches just to really secure it. A couple of stitches on the spot just to secure it, like this. And if you hold on a moment, I've just got to go and let my dog out. Okay, I'm back. Now go all the way around, but we're not doing back stitch, we're doing a running stitch. So what that means is you're just going in and out. Do quite small stitches still. All the way around, in and out. Because when we get to the end, we want to be able to pull this up tightly to form like a drawstring. That's why we want the thread, the stronger thread that's not going to break, because you don't want to do all this and then have it break when you're pulling it tightly to stop the cotter pin joint from falling out. Also, even if you do manage it with normal thread, it won't last, and the stress, the tension on it will eventually give way and it will break. So use a stronger thread. Go all the way around here. I'm doing it on the outside edge, not on the side. All the way around till you get to the end. Till you've made back where you started. And that's my parrot in the background, in case you can hear him. It's not a quiet house. And once you get back to the beginning, you can pull your drawstring closed. So you see how it pulls tightly closed. And this is why you have to pull it really tightly. This is why you need the strong thread. So once you've done that, we now need to put our joint together. Now this is your cotter pin, and this is your disc. And to do this, I like, there's a rough side and a smooth side. I like to have the rough side facing up so that it grips the fabric. Here. So but to stop this joint, this pin, metal pin, wearing away this disc here, wearing away when you're turning the head, we have a little washer that we put on first. So put the little washer on down to the bottom, then put on your wooden disc, and then position that inside the head like this. Then pull tightly on your drawstring and fasten that off. So you want it to stay tight so that your joint doesn't fall out. Fasten off here. Do a few stitches backwards and forwards like this. This is a very, very fiddly part of the process. A few stitches, and then you can do your fastening off here. Go through once, go through twice, and fasten off. Right, I like to do this several times, so I'll find another spot. I'll go around here and find another spot to fasten off on, around here as well. And there's less chance of it coming undone. Less chance of your head falling off at a later date. I mean, obviously these aren't children's toys, so they shouldn't be messed with too much. I mean, the odd occasion when you'd want to turn the head or position them, pose them, then you can turn the head. So it should be secure enough. There, we tighten that several times, cut off your excess. Okay, so that's the beginning of attaching the head to the body. That's the first part that we have to do. Now, next thing you want to do is start to stuff your limbs. So get some stuffing. I use to stuff this. You can use your chopstick. You can just use this chopstick to push it down into the bottom. I use these. Sometimes I have very small fine pieces to stuff, so I use these because you can, with the hemostats, you can grab the stuffing and you can put it into the ends like this, because they lock here. You can buy these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. You can push that all the way down to the end with these. Not so bad with this, because they're not such tiny little limbs that I'm stuffing here. So you can just use a chopstick. Maybe the other end of the chopstick helps you push the bigger wads down. Now, when you're stuffing your limbs, you'll think, oh, it won't take much stuffing. Well, it takes a lot more than you think, because you need to push it down and compact it quite tightly. So when you think you've got enough, you haven't. Put some more in. Try not to make it bulky though. Try not to make it lumpy. You want to fluff up your stuffing and put it in, but don't compact it all down so that it's lumpy. It needs to be soft and smooth, but push enough in that you've got a firm consistency. All the way down to the end. We keep pushing more and more in. Now, when you get to the end, we're going to have to put a joint in here. Another cotter pin joint or plastic joint or whatever joints you're using. So we're going to need to leave space here to put that joint in. Now, I've got one I've already started. Here's the joint already in. So I've started to stitch it up. Now, to add your joint with your kit, you should have had a bag of these joints. They're different sizes for the different parts of the bear. And you'll need obviously two joints for each limb, two discs and two washers for each limb, because of course, and you only need one cotter pin because it goes through both. Now, when you want to put your joint in your arm, make sure you get it on. I mean, this is going to be the part that's attached to the body, so you want your joint on this side, the side that's going to go onto the body. So get the right size disc, and you need to make a hole for your cotter pin to go through. So you can buy these as, it's called an awl, AWL, and you put your joint in. Make sure you've got enough room around for stitching. So position it right, and then mark your hole. Put your hole through your joint. when you've done that, prepare your cotter pin, put your washer on, put it through your wooden disc, and then on the inside find the hole that you made and put your cotter pin through that hole. Give it a wiggle, it should go through. I mean, if you haven't got one of these awls, you could use a sharp knitting needle. Don't make it too big a size, but a knitting needle can make a hole, and a large darning needle, anything you can make a hole with, just to make a hole through your fabric to get your pin through. And then once it's through, you need to start sewing up, which is what I've done here. I've already started. Now this is a different stitch again, like the running stitch and the back stitch. This is another stitch. Now this is ladder stitch. Now you don't want to be able to see, you don't want a seam like this sticking up out at your raw edges on your bear. So you need to do a ladder stitch, which is, you take a small piece on this side, again 2 or 3 inches, but on the outside this time, 2 or 3 millimeters, sorry, on the outside, take a small stitch through your fabric, pull that there, and then go to the other side and do the same on the other side here. Take a small piece of fabric. This gets annoying because it gets wrapped around your pin, but persevere. And you pull that across, then go back, don't pull it tight just yet, go back and do another stitch just a little way away from the last one, another stitch there, just taking a small piece, pull it up, and as you're going along, put your stuffing back into your arm, the stuffing that you've left out, just pack that bit out that you've just stitched, push it in. Then take another small piece section on the other side, and again here, dog's barking again. And then when you've done that a few times, you'll notice you've got a ladder. You can see that here. Got that thread going across. Now this bit's like magic. I love doing this bit. You pull on that, and it folds all your edges in. Fold your edges inside so that you haven't got your seam on the outside. Give that a little push to make sure it's tucked in. And then continue until you get to the end, remembering to keep putting your stuffing in to plump up your shoulders on the bear. You don't want him to have empty shoulders up there. Poke your stuffing in. And there we go. Continue until you close right round here. I'll join you back at the end when I've reached the end, show you how to fasten that off. So once you get to the end, to fasten off, just tuck your ends in like this and just take your little pieces here, finish off your stitches, give it a tug. If it looks a little bit lumpy, just give it a little push in, and then do your normal way you normally finish your fastening off. poke your thread in and come out somewhere else, and then cut off the end. Okay, so then you've got your shoulder nicely puffed out, you've got your pin sticking out here, and it's all stitched up, ready to go. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. If you could like and subscribe, then we can finish off our bear very soon. We're not far away. We've got the exciting part doing the head, the facial features and eyes and that kind of thing coming up very soon. So like and subscribe and join me again very soon. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.